Here in Herkimer County at Rock and Roll Mine, this is WROX Wake and Bake Morning Show. Coming to you, broadcast from Radio Free America. The weather report for August 9th, 2023 at Rock and Roll Mine is as follows. Cloudy, 70 degrees, pretty wet, lots of squirrels and snails. I'm Sean Adam, your host, and this is the Wake and Bake Morning Show. Where we have a safety meeting and we walk around checking out blue jays, looking for some crystals. On the ground, in the tailings. We're just gonna be shameless today, and we're gonna pick up everything that's shiny. Because we have the crystal tube. Now, sometimes I'm a little bit reluctant to just throw a bunch of stuff in my pocket. But when we have the crystal tube, it's a little bit different. Okay, let's keep it moving. Rained pretty hard again last night. So again, we're just walking around. We're just checking out some tailings. Yeah, it's a really nice morning here in beautiful Herkimer County. We never know what's gonna happen. You never know what we're gonna find. Ash is working today. She's looking. There's a nice little one. It's still pretty early. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning here in New York time zone. So, some people might see the Wake and Bake special a little bit later, maybe California time, maybe Indonesia time, maybe you're in Pakistan. But hopefully you'll participate in the wake and bakeness of it, if it's morning time or if it's afternoon. Either way, it's good to stay safe. It's a pretty nice crystal. It's got a little rider there, keeping it dirty. Hard one to hold on to. I'm going to show from over here. So we got that one. Okay, it's early in the morning, and I feel like I had some coffee and I lost it. Where did my coffee go? I think I'm gonna need to track that coffee down. Like a dog. Yeah, we need the coffee. We gotta have that. I'm just in one little area here where I set the phone down. And I'm just pulling little baby gems. The Wake and Bake special. 8 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. And we have to find our coffee. It's an important aspect of this affair. So I'll have to backtrack. Somebody's already chainsawing in Chainsaw America. They like to get the chainsawing on early. Well, I don't know where my coffee went. Found it. The coffee. Okay. Now I gotta relight this safety meeting. Grab my coffee. Okay, we got coffee. Safety meeting. Okay, hopefully we are on our way. Yeah, I'm good. I got my coffee, I got my safety meeting. I am heading in the direction of rock and roll. And that seems like I'm on track. I think I'm headed in the right direction. There went the frog. I came in a little hot. Here we are at Frogwater Pond and Rock and Roll Pond. Rock and Roll Pond. All right, we got some matrix pieces. We got a safety meeting. We're gonna take this safety meeting. We're just gonna throw it right in there and get to looking around. Get right into it. I don't know where we're gonna go or what we're gonna do. Let's head back over to where we were. We were finding some crystals, small ones. Just scratching around after the rain, looking for shiny things. Yeah, you can't just beat the hell out of the mountain all day, every day. Sometimes you gotta give the mountain a rest. Goes through a lot, you know. Wintertime it freezes, and then people come and they just beat the crap out of it all summer. With sticks and hammers and shit. Bukowski, my neighbor, who's a retired Army general, I think, he erected like a 50-foot American flag in his yard, and it's the most elegant thing I've ever seen anyone do in their yard. It is gigantically tall, and it's a huge flag. He's got an Army flag, and yeah, it's really something. I think it's as tall as this house, and it's got just this gold leaf top. Kind of jealous. But he was in the Army for a very, very, very long time. I don't know if he is of any relation to Charles Bukowski. I don't expect he would care for Charles Bukowski very much, being a career disciplinarian as compared to Charles Bukowski, a drunk poet, womanizer. I don't think they'd get along. Tension at the Christmas dinner. Okay. Maybe we'll start looking around. So I'm starting to focus in and be able to see some Drews, see some little ones starting to pop. So it takes a little while in the morning. Sun's got to come out, reflect the right ways. Let's see if we can find anything around here. Found a crystal once or twice at Rock and Roll. A couple of them. Sometimes they're just hanging out in the tailings. Just gotta move a few things, take your time, check it out. Here's an old safety meeting. Pay attention to some detail. I don't know, there's a slug. Maybe we won't find anything right here. Who knows? Anything can happen. I think we'll have better luck just walking around seeing what the water cleaned off. But in an effort to leave the camera still for a little bit, I thought we might find a crystal in there. Who knows? I guess we didn't. It's not a complete failure. It's just a momentary. Well, we'll probably find a bunch of little tiny things here. Just hanging out in this walkway. That's two so far. Just this one little area. They're also tiny though. But after the rain, that's just, you know, they just really pop. Those little tiny ones. And I can't just leave them there. I have an aversion to just seeing a perfect tiny crystal and walking past it. So I just grab them, you know, I don't even ask. I just grab them. I don't know who I would ask, but okay, well, 4 little tiny ones. So tiny, I'm not even going to show you again. I don't know, it's morning time, just cruising around. Maybe we'll find a bigger one. We've done it before. Probably like twice. Usually not this early in the morning. That's why this is the Wake and Bake special. It's $4.99. It comes with eggs and toast. Coffee is included, or tea. And yeah, limited supply. It's hard to find a place to set your coffee cup down where it's not going to fall over on a mountain. It really is. Is that even a crystal? I don't think so. I thought it was. Might have just been Drew's. I don't know. Maybe my eyes aren't adjusted yet. Who knows? Anything can happen when you just wake and bake and you just, you know, just let it rip. Let it fly. See what happens. Well, I have a pretty good feeling that today I'm gonna have to drag these tailings again, because we're not finding anything. You know, if I would have taken the HBO special that I was offered with the sponsorship and everything, then they probably would have some other people who would maybe drag the tailings, but WROX is cheap. They don't even hardly pay me nothing. There's no crew here. I'm supposed to walk around holding a camera while I'm mining. It's like, come on, guys. At what point do I get at least a secondary camera or something? I don't know. At what point? I had to bring my own rake. There's just water flowing out of the mountain here at the spring. And you know, this is going to be an area of interest soon, with sledgehammers and wedges, and we're going to figure it out. Where's that water coming from? Why is there so much water in there? What has happened with water inside there? We're going to find out. It's not going to be right this moment, but that's the commercial for it, in case you're wondering. What's in there? We don't know. Probably some crystals. I'm a little reluctant to start messing around with where that spring comes out, but honestly, it's really not gonna make that much of a difference if I just find that crystal pocket that water's moving through. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I think somebody bled on that one. That's a blood diamond. I don't know, might just be iron. Kind of looks like blood though. Some dried up old dinosaur blood. I'll put it in the crystal tube. That's what I'll do with it. Clean it with some antibacterial acid. That one has a little weight to it. Might be 1.5 grams. 1.25 grams. Came out of this wall probably when I walked over this way. And yeah, that's the only one that's of really much interest that I see here in this area. But I had to do a whole loop-de-loop all the way around to be able to see the light reflect off of it properly. And that's just the way that shit goes. I didn't see it going that way. And then I kind of walked around a bit, came back from the other direction, and the light hit it different. Just a little bit. Especially when they're really iron heavy like that, or bloody, or whatever that is. I don't know. Looks like blood to me. Who knows? They really tend to blend in with the rocks behind them when they're iron included. They have any kind of coating on them. Not seeing a lot here. Not seeing anything. Well, kind of been taking it easy. Maybe I'll get into some hard rock mining in later's broadcast. The broadcast later. Mostly I'm just cruising around. I've hit some pockets lately. And I'm still cleaning those. Getting them ready. Started posting some of them. Some of the new Etsy listings are pretty big crystals, so they're pretty high dollar, but fear not. I will also be posting medium-sized crystals and small crystals for every budget. Something for everyone. And eventually, probably some larger crystals that are a little less expensive because they're not so perfect. So, don't get scared away by the gigantic crystal listings, which is primarily what's going up now, because I found a few pockets with quite a few bigger crystals. So that's what we're dealing with. We're here at this area with these boulders that were all parts of the interceptor pocket portion of this area of the mine, of this wall. And took down quite a bit. Still moving a lot of boulders away. Some of these are really gigantic. They got to get broken down or rolled off. But I want to break them down because it seems like to me there's still some pretty big vugs in those boulders. Tiniest little things flash at you in the morning. Here's Luna Lou. There's a lot of dirt here, guys. Really a lot of dirt. And a lot of rocks. The idea is to keep going straight from those mats right across here and straight clear down. I got to get all these boulders out of the way from up there. Here's a piece of druze that I put on this boulder yesterday to get cleaned off by the rain. Seems like a pretty nice, pretty cool piece. That's the water department beating the crap out of the street in the background. Hey Steve, what's up? Just saw your comment. Didn't really expect any comments from anybody. It's too early. I don't know, I guess it depends on where you're at. This is a cool piece. See that quartz band all the way around it where it formed. So I just throw these pieces on a boulder and let them get clean, and eventually they look cool. And then if they don't, I just leave them there. I just kind of walk around checking it out as I go. Let's see if there's anything up in this wall hiding. Wow, I really have to drag these tailings because I have picked them clean. For the most part. I think there's a piece of a crystal. Might just be a piece, might be a piece of calcite. I think it is calcite. Yep, pretty cool piece. From the Bigfoot pocket. I don't know, that might have been quartz though, because when I just dropped it, it hit like quartz. Didn't sound the same as calcite. Who knows? guess. Okay, well, today's act is bombing. It's okay. Yo, I really don't see anything. And maybe it's just because my brain is not fully functional. Who knows? Maybe wake and bake specials are counterproductive. Here's a cool piece. Some white druze. That's pretty weird stuff. Like, I have only seen a few pockets of it, like bleach white like that. Not pockets, but rather like bugs. And there were not crystals in it. It was just opened up a vug of bleach white druze. Maybe I found all the big ones in the tailings. It's really been raining. I expected it to just beat the crap out of the ground and show a bunch of new crystals, which it has, and I've picked over it quite a few times. They're all tiny. Yeah, they're like getting tinier and tinier. So I think we need to use the potato rake. Just move it around. Get some new, fresh. Because there could be crystals just sitting like half an inch under the top. There's just so much dirt. Let's see if any of the stuff I stuck in these I'm not answering that right now. Too early in the morning. It's wake and bake special time. On air. There's a funky piece of calcite. I don't know why I kept that. throw it over there. In case of emergency, pull a crystal out of your pocket instead. So here we have a recent find from the Thunder Pocket, which is a part of the Bigfoot. It's in the floor of the Bigfoot. It was a separate pocket, a few feet away from the Bigfoot in the floor. So it got its own name, and it was like 2 sections. You can see it in the lives. The latest Only Polls, well, the first Only Polls episodes are of Thunder Pocket Redux. So you can see this crystal being pulled in one of those videos. I'm not sure which one. I think it's number 2. Episode 2, Only Polls, episode 2. It's an interesting refraction in the middle of this one. These crystal points are really, really perfect. There's some crazy cool internal fracturing. It makes wacky rainbows. They're not refraction rainbows, they're fracture rainbows. There's a difference. One is high class, VIP. The internal fractures, though, it's not broken, it's just over time frozen and thawed. This is a touch point where it was connected to another crystal, or had another smaller crystal sitting there as a little rider. We probably have that crystal in the flat of these, but I haven't taken time to attempt to reconstruct any of these pockets so far. Not that I won't ever, but maybe I will. It's just not something that I focus on right now. This is a really cool carbon inclusion because it's just right there on the inside, and you can really kind of see it do kind of a cool thing where it's kind of brecciated in there on its outer edges. It's kind of like a Rorschach test, you know? You can just see whatever you want, or let us know what you see. I guess that's the way that Rorschach tests go. It's not really see whatever you want. It's like, what do you see in that? So this is a rock and roll Rorschach test. Now that we're all zoomed in on it, I can see that there's some kind of a timestamp. Maybe there was a little crystal pressed up against that. Really perfect chisel tips on these, on this one. This one is, I just weighed it. Well, I think it was 45.55 grams, and it's 200. So it's $4.50 a gram. for these larger pieces, that's pretty much my go-to price for these pieces that have this internal fracturing and maybe some, I mean, they're perfect, but they do have that internal fracturing. And so, you know, $4.50 a gram. So I don't know what that works out to per carat, but we don't really weigh these like in per carat. But I do, when I'm doing the jewelry grade, it's a different story, so it's a different thing. But yeah, I love these bigger ones. I do price them so that people can have them. I like to sell these this size and larger for people because it really makes a lot of sense for them to have something like this size or a little bit bigger on a shelf. You can really see it. And its details are large enough on these windows that you can get a good idea and have a good, even if you're old and you have bad eyes, you can still, this is such a typical Herkimer diamond shape that it's a good representation, I think. This size. And they have a nice area of, you know, if they're gonna do some rainbow stuff, it's like, you know, that's cool. And then you have a nice window or two to look at it from different angles. So it's not gigantic, but it's not small either. Like this, when I would mine at day rate mining places, if I found one of these, I would be like, great, that made my day. If I could find one of these. And they would really never be this perfect because you're maybe dealing with something that had been alluvial for a while. Maybe a machine rolled over it, a rock did some damage. You know, you got to really put that work in to be able to get these crystals out of pockets and have them just be really undamaged. This is all naturally occurring damage on the inside, and these areas like this, that's a touch point where it meets with another crystal. So there's absolutely no damages to this crystal in the mining process. And I'm not just being like, oh, I'm so awesome. When there are damages, then a lot of times I just kind of set that one aside, and they're not ones that I would sell for that amount. But $4.50 a gram is generally when you, so just so you know, especially people who are tuned in a lot, you know, if you want to wonder, how much is that? It's generally $4.50. So if I'm like, this is 180 grams. On the much larger ones, I sometimes go to like 4 just to make the prices a little bit better for people. But I actually prefer to price it accordingly and then give a discount code. Or now on Etsy you can make offers like how you can on eBay, which is something that I really like that Etsy just started doing. And that way you can set it up so people can make you can set your price, and then somebody can make you an offer. Which, you know, I really don't do that. Like myself, when I'm buying things, if somebody wants like $150 for it, I just give them $150. But I know some people want to negotiate and that they think it's fun, and that's their experience. That's the experience that they want to have. So that's fine. But yeah, $200 for a piece like this. And just to give you an idea, it's like a quarter palmer, a quarter size palmer. It's like 1/4 of a palmer. It's bigger than a pocket rock. It's a little too sharp to be a pocket rock. This thing will seriously stab you. It could be forged into a magical weapon, imbued with magicality. If you were a wizard or a paladin, I think. Paladins are allowed to use magic. Only if you give up some other attributes, though. So if you want to be a magical paladin, I think you have to maybe not shoot arrows or something. I'm not really too sure. But either way, if you don't want to be a warrior of medieval times or a Viking, you can still use this crystal for other things. You can plug your iPhone into it and it might recharge. You can just like put it on a really cool shelf in your bedroom, and then it will probably give you really wacky dreams. It'll just intensify the dreams that you already have, actually. And maybe you could use it as a nightlight. So, this is what I got, you know. I didn't find any crystals, really, to mention. Nothing crazy. Look at that crazy TV that's in there. It's like purple and stuff. This one does have some cool, some pretty cool colors in there if you are sitting in the sun. And I'm not really doing that on purpose. They're just kind of in there. Not all of these do that. I think it's because this black is here. And it's helping. It's a little smoky, irradiated in that area. You know, smoky quartz, irradiated by aluminum. A lot of people don't think about that when they're looking at a cool piece of smoke and some quartz. These rainbows are from internal fractures caused by heating and thawing, freezing and thawing. And sometimes they have a little bit of liquid content in them, or air pockets or air bubbles. And when they freeze, they get these internal fractures. But it doesn't affect the top of the crystal face. It's not a broken crystal. I'm not sure how it looks in this video, but they have different zones and planes. I think it sat on the floor here, and there was a crystal connected here, which probably also sat on the floor, and probably also has this anthracite inclusion. You can see there's just a little bit of a touch mark where it's not so much a key mark, it's just where the crystal sat and touched it. Right there. And then you have a little bit of a key mark kind of thing going on over here. But yeah, there's no like fractures on any of these. You can see that it sat also up against a crystal. It's got like a crazy cool set of lines there where the crystal connected here and then kind of sat there. It's a little bit rehealed, it looks like. It's not as detailed as it would be if it didn't reheal itself a little bit, I think. But it's glassy and looks nice. It doesn't look broken. You can tell it's like not broken. And you can tell that that's where the natural face ended. And it really just kind of right in with something else. It's a pretty cool one. I just threw it in my pocket this morning because I was like, maybe I'm not going to find anything. And I'm glad that I did. But yeah, I just posted this on the Instagram. And I don't post things for sale a lot, so, you know. But if anybody sees anything that they like, they can always ask me about it. I'm just not good at taking the time away from all the other responsibilities to post things. I'm bad at that part. But you can see where it was like just a little bit pressed, like right there, and it kind of shows, it has like a little spot where it was really pushing. It kind of did this cool pattern. Oh, you're in PA now. I just read the rest of the comments. Yeah, that's cool. You know, I lived in PA for 24 years. I moved to Philadelphia in 1990s. I've only been here for a year and a half. So we may be announcing a really cool thing soon, where really great location that will be stocked with rock and roll. So we're gonna get some crystals into a really nice shop, really nice, alongside a really nice collection of minerals. A historic collection of minerals. And it's gonna be wild, man. It's gonna be wild. And it's probably gonna happen pretty quick. You'll see some of our most recent pieces and some of the higher quality pieces that I've saved in the safe, all on display next to some historic materials from all around the world. Kind of put us on the map, I think. Be pretty cool. Get rock and roll on the map. But I think it's going to be cool because we're going to do a thing where like it's going to be similar, very, very, very similar pricing. So there's not really going to be any much of a difference between if you were to buy it directly, because I'm only gonna have official rock and roll partnerships. Like every rando crystal shop in the world is not just gonna have a pile of rock and roll crystals with no name on it. We're never doing that. So that's why they're kind of not for sale, except for on our Etsy and on our, well, they're not even for sale on our website right now because we haven't fully developed the e-commerce aspect of our website. Yeah, we have shirts, and they're, t-shirts, and they're, most of our videos, like if you just go right below the description, there's a merchandise selection. And I think we have like 110 hats and t-shirts and yeah, all that stuff. It took me a long time to design all that stuff and get it up. There's like WROX socks. And yeah, a few different designs of t-shirts. There's a WROX t-shirt or two. There's a Rock Hound t-shirt that says Rock Hound on the front, and then it says rock and roll mine somewhere on the sleeve or something. And then we have a bunch of different rock and roll designs. And I think there's one that it just says rock and roll. It doesn't even like say mine. It doesn't have Herkimer diamond on it. It just says rock and roll. So if you want to be totally like incognito rock and roll supporter, you can just get a rock. All it says is rock and roll, and then people will be like, "Fuck yeah, rock and roll," and then you're like, "Yeah, that's right." Choose your own adventure. What is your favorite rock and roll? Aerosmith? All right, fuck yeah. I mean, they'll just know what it means. And then there's like the rock and roll skull t-shirt.